Hey guys, I am here with Omar Karim. He's been on Expert Roundup before. Actually, he's on the current series actually, so you can see him most days. But today I wanted to speak to him about Sora and what his first impressions are. What sort of prompts is he doing? What's the quality like, and so on. So Karim, so how are you? Omar, sorry. So
Man,
Omar.
that's what they used to call me at school, so like it's all good. Anyway, how you doing? What's happening?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. As you could probably hear, I've got flu, so this was the first meeting today I actually attended. I've cancelled the other ones.
Well,
Um,
let's make this one the fun one then.
yeah, yeah. So what are you thinking about Sora at the moment then? Like, what do you think of the
Uh,
quality, prompt adherence, all of that sort of
yeah,
stuff?
all the good stuff, right? So I've got to be honest with you. When I first heard of Sora, I really, really wanted to hate it. I really wanted to hate it. I was like, especially after you saw what they did with Dali, and Dali was just like a hype machine in comparison to all of the other, like, everything from open source all the way down to like, mid journeys and everything else. Like, Dali never came into it. So the thing that like really made me sort of feel like that was when all of the first Sora films were coming out, they had a little thing in the corner that said VFX plus Sora. So it was like it always felt disingenuous. So I really did not want to like it. I was like, okay, it's gonna come out, and obviously as soon as it came out, I paid the extra pro mode fee because I really wanted to get pro mode anyway, because I think, as a package, it was like, okay, if Sora's good, then this package is going to be worth it. And I've got to be honest, like I burnt through my 10,000 credits, I think it was, like I think
Yeah.
within like 40 minutes, because oh, hold on a minute, they don't tell you at the beginning that like your credits are going to get absolutely rinsed if you do
Yeah.
everything at 1080p at like 20 other, oh, sorry, 10 seconds at 1080p, which is kind of like, for me as a filmmaker, is exactly what I want. I was like, this is the quality that I wanted. Like, if it can do that quality and I can pay my credits, amazing. And then you do the math and you're like, it might take me 2 to 3 months to make a one full length, like, music video with a 1080p, and I can't get a single prompt wrong. So with all of that, there was this like mountain of things that was just like, I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate it. And then
And
I got it.
how many and to do that music video, like how many credits do you think you would go through?
Oh my god! Like, imagine, so you get 10,000 free. Sorry, here, like, you put me on the spot with my maths, right? This is not my
Yeah.
countdown moment, right? So, like,
Yeah.
imagine 10,000 credits is 2,000 credits for every like for every 10 seconds of 1080p content. Now, you do the math, right? That's is that
Sorry,
one
what was
minute?
that? How many
I'm
credits? So
sorry, 100 seconds.
I'm actually writing it down at the moment to make a table. So how many credits for
Oh,
1080p?
1080p is 2,000 credits for a 1080p video. Yeah,
And
exactly. My face,
how
exactly. I did
how
not realize that until I actually clicked on the thing that I'll send you the table. I think I put it on LinkedIn. Like, it's a full
right.
table that like has like a breakdown of what everything costs, and you're suddenly like, oh, you didn't say that at
Mm,
the beginning. And honestly, I was so gutted because I'd only just starting to do
yeah.
experiments with it, because obviously like you want to go through and like explore like the edge cases, or the edge cases with
Mm,
Sora, like what can you do with it, what can it sort of do. And my main thing I really wanted to do, and the thing that I was like, okay, the key difference between Sora and all of the AI tools that are available, all AI services available, like Kling, Minuax, Runway, Illuma, those four, right? So all of them all have a problem with doing really good emotional expression, right? Like, it's basically wooden acting the whole way through. Minimax is good, but it just makes everyone talk all the time, and you're like, that's completely weird. Act one was good, and you're like,
mm,
okay, I can
mm.
kind of see where it's going, but it's still moving avatar. It's like Hey Gen version 5 or whatever. Then Sora comes along, and oh my god, it is astounding. It is actually genuinely astounding. I am absolutely blown away by it. Its prompt adherence is immaculate. And a lot of people like still complaining about the like physics and stuff. Its physics actually exists in comparison to the other models. Like, one of my first films that I did, I wanted to test out what does it look like when I have a model wearing wearing clothing, and can I shoot her from different angles, which is what I want to do in a real world shoot, right? Instantaneously, you have a model, she's wearing a set of clothes, and I can film her, or the shots that can be taken from different angles, and her clothes still remain the same. Now, of course, you can find workarounds for this through Comfy. Of course, you can find workarounds in like Kling and blah blah blah. But to do it straight out the box, I was just like absolutely flabbergasted. And mate, honestly, I think the thing that was an absolute standout for me, I was like, I felt it in my chest. I was like, this, I don't understand why I'll ever need to like pick up Comfy UI again. And
Oh
I've had a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
conversations with a lot of people, and they're like, yeah, but Omar, like, but you know,
yeah.
you can kind of do like so many different things. And I'm like, literally the only thing that I can see right now, and I'm a power user of Comfy as well. Like I've done
Mm.
multiple projects, real world projects with it, that I know what I can do with Comfy. When you start making video and you go, the ease of me making like you know, production ready quality video clips is just me typing it in. Now you're offering me workflows that I probably won't need. So why would
Yeah,
I? And honestly, I can really see this moment of like going, like in my head, I just literally saw a protest of like no more nodes, because suddenly, like, you know, the sort of like barrier of entry into AI filmmaking isn't going to go, well, you need to go and like figure out nodes first, isn't going to be you getting flamed on Reddit. It's like, do you have an idea? Do you have the gumption to make it real? Go and make it real. That's basically what I felt from it. So I think it's going to light the fire under a lot of people's asses. And I'm still waiting for someone to like go, oh yeah, of course you need Comfy UI for X, Y, and Z reason. I'm like, do you though? Do you really though?
yeah,
Because yeah,
yeah,
fair enough, it might be open source, and fair enough, it might be completely amazing. But therein lies the problem, right? And I've been watching the conversation on Reddit and all over LinkedIn and stuff, and people are like, yeah, but like, you know, it's open source and blah blah. For me, the critical problem is it commercial ready, commercial rights ready? Do I get
yeah,
commercial rights on it?
yeah.
So if you're like,
That's like the situation that we've got right now with Hunyuan, which is
mm,
I think the best free open source model that you can get. But the thing is, I was talking to Neil DeCock yesterday, and
mm,
I think he has been using that Hunyuan open source model, and he says it's free, but it's not as good as OpenAI. But out of the two, you know, I don't think you can really do commercial work with that Hunyuan thing because it's
there you go.
just doesn't look like Sora.
Yeah.
It's the difference
And
between real and not real.
yeah, and also, like, you know, I think just every single product I've ever done, it always comes down to the minute you get in front of a client, they're like, do we own the commercial rights? Is this IP friendly? Am I going to get sued? And you know, I haven't used Sora commercially yet. I don't know what the commercial license is properly,
Yeah,
but I imagine that that is something that they're going to bake into it, because they are a commercial focused company. So they'll be like, okay, we need commercial rights for this content, off we go. And then that is it's one of those moments when I first started using it, it really felt like those being in the room moments. You're like, I don't know what the world's going to look like after this, because what does this mean? And you know, at the same time, I'm talking to someone who's on their way to do a production. So there is a disparity between like what you can see in the world right now and the way that everyone's working. And I think those two things coming together are going to be it's going to be fireworks. It's going to be fireworks, because this technology is going to supersede so many things. Because do you need to do entire massive shoots when you can like rely on very, very, very weapon grade video content that can do anything? You know, like, and the thing is like the crazy thing is like, I was having a conversation with a filmmaker here in Seville, and we are talking about like how there's this like weird feeling about like, oh, you know what, we just like we'll pay AI less. And you're like, that's just so crazy to me. Like, you know, if you put in the
mm,
same amount of money, like as you would do a normal shoot, into an AI shoot, the amount of work, the quality of work, and the like longevity of that work will outstrip anything that's like, you know, physical in the sort of like traditional camera sense, right? That you can
yeah,
make so much better work. So if you imagine, say you had like a budget of 100K and you were going to use Sora, when Sora does, I imagine they're going to launch credits. Imagine spent like, you could have a room full of people making like, you know, countless versions of your film, and you could make so much more content. So rather than go like, we just pay the AI person £1,000 to make one film, and you're like, "Mm, that's a very short-sighted way of looking at business." Like, surely you
yeah,
want like as much content to get to as many people to make as much money to do as much business. Anyway,
yeah,
Sora is
yeah.
brilliant. That's all I'm saying, and it really blew me away. And I literally, I thankfully didn't say on the internet I would eat my hat, but thank God I didn't, because I was like, I'm gonna have to eat this entire hat. Oh God, I'm gonna have to buy a chocolate hat from somewhere.
So yeah, what do you think of the pricing structure for the $200 thing?
I think, you know what, I think it's I think it's worth it. Like, if you imagine what you get out of the box, it's actually mind blowing. You get the best, or you get O1 Pro mode, which the stuff it can do is mind blowing, literally
Oh,
mind
what have
blowing.
you done with it for coding and stuff? Was it better or?
Oh my God, like it's coding is great. It goes away some like I've like basically like had it like go away and like fucking do some absolutely amazing stuff with strategy, right? So like strategy stuff has been really, really important, because the way that it thinks is genius. And especially if you push it further and further into strategy. Hold on a minute, I'll show you like what I'm talking about. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to do, right, was I wanted to see how do I get Sora to get really good at making films. So we sat with O1 and I was like, okay, how do we need to come up with a plan to get O1 to do to get Sora to do stuff that other people aren't doing, because everyone's just making Sora clips. Like, it's very hard to push the aesthetic outside of Sora. So the way that I've been doing it is I've been making O1 think that it's a film director. And how does the film director work? It came up with this genius plan that it wanted to watch who it thought was a good film director and learn from what it saw. And then I've just been like giving it screenshots and like giving it like, oh, do you want to see like Chris Cunningham's work? Of course. It basically gave me a list of like 10 directors they wanted to see the work of. I showed it to it, and then it's just started making work. Not a single bit like any of them, but you can see the world that it came from, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? This is mad.
Yeah,
And like
yeah,
that sort of like, because when you think like O1 is a PhD level intellect sitting in your machine, then I am not a PhD level person. I need it to do something smarter than me. Like, that means that I work in a business that has PhD people in it. Like, I want them to go and like do as well as they can. So I've got it trying to figure out interesting strategies to like figure out how to make filmmaking. I've got it doing very, very interesting work in sort of like more sort of like less tangible philosophical spaces as well. It's philosophical like ideas are like just mind blowing. And I don't want to go too far into that, but it's very interesting. But you get that, you get O1, you get you get 4.0 with Canvas, you get all of the new stuff
yeah.
they're dropping, and you get like unlimited advanced voice mode, which for me, I spend probably about an hour a day talking to advanced voice mode, because it is
Ah,
the greatest collaborator I've ever worked with in
yeah,
pretty much most respects. Like, we start talking in the morning after a coffee, and then we just go for a walk and we just talk. And that in that
yeah,
time we cover off so many things, and it's advanced, because that its level of intellect is unbelievable. So
yeah,
it is really interesting. And then when you put that together with Sora, and you're like, that is a great package. I get world class AI video, I get world class AI intelligence, and all of the other stuff that's coming. So for me, I'm
mm,
like, £200 is absolutely fine. And I guess I'm exceptional in that case, because I'm using it for my work, but I'm also trying to figure out like, well, what can you do with it? Like, how far down the rabbit hole does it go? And it's pretty
mm,
far.
mm.
It's pretty far, the stuff you can do with it.